Okay, this is the second video for lesson 3, which is talking about defining the unit rate as the constant of proportionality of a graph and a table. We've done tables in the previous video. Now our focus is going to be on graphs. Now, just a quick review. Unit rate, the number that you should associate unit rates with is with the number 1. We need a 1 in the denominator in order for it to be considered a unit rate. We think of miles per gallon, words typed per minute, students per teacher. Those are all examples of unit rate because they are associated with the number 1. This sheet you should have copied down somewhere because I asked you in the previous video to copy this slide down or this sheet, and the reason for that is 2 reasons. First is to get you accustomed with this 7th grade vocabulary, which is constant of proportionality, and how that is going to replace the term unit rate for us. Second is that you have this equation or formula to calculate your constant of proportionality, which is k is equal to y divided by x. So you should have that sheet somewhere. Okay, let's talk about graphs, and this is kind of difficult in the fact that it may be hard for you to see. So I'm going to do the best that I can. So the way that I have tried to make this easier is I've given you some points on the line, okay? Now, what I want you to first identify, and this will be later on in the semester, but this graph shows proportionality because of 2 things I can look at. First, it goes through the origin, which is where the x and y axis intersect, and it is a straight line. If it is a straight line and goes through the origin, it shows proportionality. So I automatically know that this graph shows proportionality. Now the question that I have here is to determine the constant of proportionality. To do that, I'm going to pick points that fall on this line. Now I've done that already over here, okay? So I have this point here, which is 112. Have this point here, which is 224, 3, 36, 4, 48, and 5, 60. Now what we're needing to do is we first need to back up for a second because you need to identify ordered pairs. This should have been a major focus in 6th grade for you. You need to make sure that you're able to identify what that point is. This is a 6th grade skill that you needed to come into 7th grade to know. So just real quick, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. In order to get this point, I'm going to go over 1 up to 12, okay? So this point falls right here. All right, now you have your point or ordered pair listed here. Understand, just like the alphabet, X comes before Y. So in the alphabet, X comes first. In an ordered pair, the X value is going to come first. Notice this is the x-axis. The 1 comes first in the ordered pair. Same thing with this point here. So 2 is on the x-axis, it comes first. Go over to the y, and that is going to be second. So this is x, and this is y. All right? Now the reason that that is important is because according to our equation, k is equal to y over x. Well, what comes or goes on top? The 12, because it's the y value. 12 over 1. Now, you should notice, well, that's already a 1 in the denominator. That's a unit rate. Unit rate is the same as your constant of proportionality. So it is 12. Some students may struggle to see this, so they may need to see divided by 1, divided by 1. They may need to see that. You probably don't, but some may. Now, really, I know that the constant of proportionality for this table, or I'm sorry, this graph is 12. And I can stop here. And the reason I can stop is because it is a straight line that goes through the origin. Now, what I'm going to do is do another point. Let's say that I want to do this one. K is equal to y over x. My y value here is 24. My x value is 2. I need to change this to a unit rate, so I'm going to divide the denominator by 2 and the numerator by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I have 12 over 1, which is a unit rate because of the 1, and which is equal to 12. So the constant is 12. Now, what does that mean? I've done this work, I've got 12, but what in the world does it mean? Okay? 12 is where the y is. What's the title of the y-axis? Students. So 12 students. 1 is the x. What's the title of the x-axis? Chaperone. So 12 students for 1 chaperone. I could have chosen any of these points on the line. I could have chosen 3, 36. Okay? It's the x, this is the y. K is equal to y divided by x, which is 36 over 3. Divide by 3, because I want a unit rate. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Here I have a constant of 12. I didn't need to check these two, but I'm doing it for practice for you. Now, what I would like for you to do, look at this graph. You should be able to tell me whether it is or isn't proportional just by looking at it. It's a straight line. It goes through the origin. Therefore, it shows proportionality. Now, to determine the constant of proportionality, we have to find a point on this line. So, since it's maybe difficult for some of you to see, let's just say we're going to use this point here. Okay? Now remember, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Remember also, in an ordered pair, x comes first, then y. So I've got my point, go down, I'm at 1, 2, 3. So I have an x value of 3. I'm going to go over, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a y value of 5. So that's my point. Okay? I could have chosen this one if I wanted. It doesn't matter which point. So let's use this one. Now remember your formula, k is equal to y over x. The y value is 5. The x value is 3. Now sometimes you will have problems that maybe leave your constant as 5 over 3. Okay, there's nothing wrong to say k is equal to 5 over 3. However, most will have you go ahead and divide that. So 5 divided by 3 is going to give you 1.6 repeating. So the constant of proportionality is 5 over 3, or 1.6 repeating. Now, let's pick another one, just to show that it doesn't matter. So let's do this one. Okay, here our x value is 6. Our y value is 10. Remember x before y, just like the alphabet. We have k is equal to y over x, 10 over 6. Divide this by 6, divide this by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, 10 divided by 6 is 1.6 repeating. So your constant is 1.6 repeating. You're going to get the same answer. I can tell you that because it's a straight line that goes through the origin. Okay, so I have written a couple of points on the graph. You should be able to look at this graph and say, yes, it does show proportionality because it's a straight line that goes through the origin. But now I want you to determine and calculate the constant. Remember, x before y. Same thing here. X before y. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the question. Okay, hopefully you did 12 divided by 1.5, which is equal to 8. So your constant is 8. Here, remember with ordered pairs, x, comma, y, you can choose either point, determine the constant of proportionality. Okay, so hopefully you did 2 over 6 . 2 over 6, if I tried to make this a unit rate, divide this by 6, divide this by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 2 divided by 6 is 1/3. Now, what you could have done is said 2 over 6, well, 2 will go into both of these, and got 1/3 this way. Either way is fine, okay? If you chose this one, y over x, 1 over 3, there's nothing you could have done with that. So it wouldn't have mattered. You should have gotten 1/3 for your answer. Okay, this one. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the question. Okay, so for this one, we have a y value of 5/10 over 4. Okay, so you can divide this by 4, divide this by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 5/10 divided by 4 is 125 thousandths. So the correct answer here is C. Now, again, you could have chosen this point. You could have done 1.5 over 20, or 12 rather, divided by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 and 5/10 divided by 12 is 125 thousandths. So it doesn't matter that which one you choose. So this is the calculating the constant of proportionality in graphs. Guys, a couple of things that you need to remember from 6th grade. First, which is the x and which is the y-axis. Second, how to write an ordered pair, what the x and y values of that ordered pair are. and then using your constant of proportionality equation or formula to calculate your constant of proportionality. Guys, if you're struggling with this, do not hesitate to contact Ms. Banks or myself. Either call the school or email us. Do not forget about our live sessions Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 9 till 10. Guys, if I can help you, do not hesitate to let me know. Have a great day.